November 13th's homework again is starting with a quick fluency check. We've been talking a lot about different ways to solve multiplication equations that are more efficient and effective than drawings. For example, we can either solve by finding a familiar 5's fact, which is where we multiply first by 7 times 5, and then we add 2 more 7's. We've also talked about repeated addition and making a 10. So first I start with adding 2 7's. I know that to get from 7 to 10 I have to add 3 more. So I split my 7 into 3 plus 4. I get 10 plus 4, which is 14. I'm now at 3 7's. I split this 7 into 6 and 1 because I know that that will give me a 10, which is 20. Plus 1 is 21. I can't make a 10, so I just add and I get 28. Now I do 28 plus 7. I know I'm 2 away from my next 10. I'm at 30 plus 5, which is 35. And I keep counting on until I've added 7 7's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm only at 5, so I have 2 more to go. I get 40 plus 2 is 42. My last 7, and I find 49. Now, what we want your child to be able to do is explain which one's easier for them and why. Some of them, this is way too confusing. Some of them have memorized this fact, which is great, and some of them prefer distributive property or finding a 5's fact. What is another way of expressing 6 times 8? Well, I see down here that there are a couple of options. I know that adding 6 3 times is not what 6 times 8 is telling me. I also know that 5 times 8 is 40, so I could cross that out. I look and I see that 6 times 5 is 30, plus another 3 is 33, and that is too low. Now I see my distributive property or familiar 5's. We do 8 times 5 plus 8 times 1, which is what I have here. Down below it says solve the equation once you choose an answer. So now I need to solve. And I get 48. It says use the distributive property to solve 8 times 7. So I do 8 times 5 plus, 8 times 5 plus 8 times 2. And I get 40 plus 16, which equals 56. On the back, we're practicing rounding. We're also practicing expanded form, which is pulling out the hundreds, the tens, and the ones in 3-digit numbers. So rounding, we've already gone over on additional homework, so I'll leave those. However, this is something new. So the first thing I want to see is that I see a 5 in the hundreds place and a 3 in the hundreds place. I know that that doesn't stand for 5 1's and 3 1's. I also know it doesn't stand for 50 or 30 because it's in the hundreds place, not the tens place. I see 2 answer options where these match, so I need to keep checking. I see the 3 in the tens place and a 5 in the tens place. I see here that these are 1s, so I know automatically that's incorrect. I check, and I check my 1s, and I see that D is right. Down below, the biggest mistake is that your students will not write it vertically, but we're simply adding the 2 3-digit numbers.